18 celebrities who broke the law and got away with it. In 2003, Kobe Bryant was charged with sexual assault. However, the charges were dropped after the woman who had accused the basketball player of sexual assault refused to testify. Later, a civil lawsuit was filed against Bryant by the woman, which was settled out of court. Although he apologized to his accuser, he admitted no guilt on his part. NFL players aren't the smartest people in the world, for sure. Lawrence definitely ranks down there amongst the lowest, especially after his rape allegations. Of course, his lawyer, Arthur Adila, got him out of it. Now his son has been arrested for a similar crime. Runs in the family, doesn't it? Singer R. Kelly has been in and out of trouble, but mostly out of it. With the assistance of his criminal defense attorneys Sam Adam Jr., and Edward Gerson, Kelly was able to beat child pornography charges and supposedly peeing on the victims. However, this isn't the only time Kelly has been in trouble. On July 28, 2006, Mel Gibson was arrested for DUI, driving under the influence, while speeding in his vehicle with an open container of alcohol. He then started yelling racial slurs at the officer. This was his second incident involving drinking and driving. Punishment? Fine and a slap on the wrist. Some celebrities know how to handle their own troubles. 50 Cent certainly did when he turned snitch and transformed a 9-year sentence into a 6-month stay for selling drugs. Wow, what a guy. Selling crack isn't for everyone. Model and actress Paris Hilton has had her fair share of run-ins with the law. One of the most memorable was the time she backed her Range Rover into a Honda Civic and drove away without leaving a note. In California, it's a crime to damage a parked car and drive off without leaving a note. A misdemeanor crime that's punishable by a maximum of 6 months in jail and a $1,000 fine. Paris didn't have to do any jail time or pay a fine. Paris did the same thing a few years later with her Bentley. We're guessing that if you have money, you can get out of anything. Snoop Dogg was arrested and put on trial in connection with the death of Philip Waldemarian, a member of a rival gang, after his bodyguard, McKinley Lee, shot and killed him back in 1993. Even though the rapper had been driving the vehicle from which the shooting commenced, Snoop and his bodyguard were acquitted of murder charges on the grounds of self-defense, thanks to their dream team of lawyers. One of the defense lawyers was super attorney David Kenner. As long as you're a famous rapper, you can obviously get out of a murder charge. Congratulations, Snoopy. On August 5, 1987, Matthew Broderick was in a car accident in Enniskillen, Northern Ireland, while vacationing with Jennifer Grey, whom he had begun dating in semi-secrecy during the filming of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The accident, which was the event through which their relationship became public, occurred when the rented BMW Broderick was driving crossed into the wrong lane and collided head-on with a Volvo driven by 28-year-old Anna Gallagher, who was accompanied by her 63-year-old mother, Margaret Doherty, and both were killed instantly in the accident. Broderick was charged with causing death by dangerous driving and faced up to 5 years in prison, but he was later convicted of the lesser charge of careless driving and fined just $175, which the victim's family called a travesty of justice. With some strong criminal defense attorneys, Broderick ended up getting a day off and a bill for less than $200. Wow, pretty much sums this one up. Boxing promoter Don King actually killed 2 men in separate incidents. King killed the first man in self-defense when the man was trying to break into his gambling operation. King was charged with second-degree murder for the second incident, in which he stomped to death an employee who owed him $600. Well, boy, Don King has been in a ton of legal trouble and has faced many court trials. Charles E. Lomax, who represented King, should certainly be credited for having superb skills. Despite being convicted of second-degree murder in 1966, King only ended up serving 4 years in prison and is still out and about and robbing professional boxers. Sid Vicious was the bassist for the punk rock group called the Sex Pistols. Nancy Spungen, Sid's girlfriend, was found dead in the bathroom of a hotel room where the couple were staying. She was stabbed once in her stomach and bled to death. The weapon belonged to Sid, who admitted that the two had a falling out the night before. He didn't remember the details as he was heavily drugged up at the time. He gave the police conflicting statements, claiming that he did stab her but didn't mean to kill her, before later stating that she fell on the night. He then later claimed to have no memory of the incident whatsoever and attempted to maintain his innocence. All the evidence pointed to Sid, but he never ended up serving time for his alleged crime. He died from a heroin overdose before his trial could take place. Many suspect that his death was a suicide. Mick Jagger was arrested for assault and obstructing justice in 1972. He was with Keith Richards and a few other friends when he was charged with assault and obstruction of justice after he allegedly attacked a photographer. After being arrested, however, the charges were dropped and everyone was released. Rock on! Driving home on December 30th, 2006, Brandy Norwood was involved in a fatal automobile accident on the LA freeway. The accident claimed the life of 38-year-old Awatef Abudahaj, the driver of the Toyota that was struck by Norwood's Range Rover. Abudahaj died from her injuries at the LA Holy Cross Hospital the following day. Norwood was neither arrested nor charged with vehicular manslaughter due to insufficient evidence. Luckily for Brandy, she was able to afford an excellent lawyer, Blair Burke. Britney Spears was caught driving with her 4-month-old son sitting on her lap without a child restraint. California law requires drivers to secure children sitting in the front seat who are under a year old or under 20 pounds. A violation is punishable by a fine of $100. She didn't have to pay a nickel. Also, in 2007, Britney Spears was charged with a hit-and-run accident after hitting a parked vehicle and driving without a valid license. No fine or punishment there either. We're guessing the court and judge were huge Britney fans. Robert Downey Jr. was let off very lightly on more than one occasion for crimes that would see most non-celebrities spending some serious time in the slammer. After spending almost a year in a substance abuse treatment facility and state prison, Downey Jr. was released early due to the fact that he had served time based on his original 1996 arrests. On a later occasion, in 2000, Downey Jr. was apprehended after he was discovered in possession and under the influence of controlled substances, following an anonymous tip-off, and was put on parole. In 2001, he was discovered wandering around Culver City barefoot while under the influence. Tests showed he had cocaine in his system, but was released and absolutely no charges were laid. Sure, RDJ got in trouble on numerous occasions, but there were also instances where his fame no doubt aided him in getting off easy. Mark Wahlberg doesn't exactly have the cleanest police record. Wahlberg was arrested for beating up a blind man and nearly killing him. He recently showed extreme cockiness when he sought out a pardon. Of course, the prosecution lawyer, Judith Beals, insists he didn't deserve it, and he was able to escape the charge without doing any jail time. Sure, beating a blind man is definitely not reprehensible. Justin Bieber has certainly caused a great deal of trouble in his short career. This guy got Bieber out of some hefty charges, including vandalism and assault. His lawyer, Roy Black, has been there and done that when it comes to representing celebrities. He's worked with Joe Francis, Peter Max, and William Kennedy Smith. What will he do next? What most people don't know about Michael J. Fox is that he was an illegal immigrant. Fox was born in Canada. He landed an acting job in America for the television show Letters from Frank. The only thing that was wrong with that was he didn't have his visa yet. Michael J. Fox revealed that he suffered some nervousness at the border early on in his career. He mentioned in his 2010 autobiography that the actual visa had not yet come through. Immigration laws have always been a serious matter in America, but if you're a television star, apparently they can make some exceptions. On May 20th, 1998, Charlie Sheen overdosed while using cocaine, and it required him to be hospitalized. Sheen, already on probation in California for a previous drug offense, had his probation extended for an extra year and entered a rehab clinic. On December 25, 2009, Sheen was arrested for assaulting his wife, Brooke Mueller, in Aspen, Colorado. Sheen was charged with felony menacing, as well as third-degree assault and criminal mischief. Sheen, represented by lawyer Yale Gallanter, pled guilty to misdemeanor assault as part of a plea bargain that included dismissal of the other charges against him. Sheen was sentenced to 30 days in a drug rehab center, 30 days of probation, and 36 hours of anger management.